placemakers dedicated to building community at scale in cities across America in ways that are responsible, equitable, and transformational.
It's because this is a place of learning, this is a place of teaching, and this is a place especially of community and coming together.
Not just because it's a collection of buildings, but it's a collection of impact.
How you guys doing? We good?
Right.
You're not on? Turn your mic.
There we go.
I want to first thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know it's a Wednesday night or Thursday night. I don't know what day of the week it is right now, but thank you for showing up. The vision of this show started last year. A group of Baltimore chefs, African-American chefs, went up to James Beard Foundation. And they went up there and they did an amazing job. But when they got back, nobody in Baltimore heard about it. And in my DMs, they were like, Aaron, you have the voice. We need your help. Can you tell people that we were up there doing something amazing at James Beard in New York? And at that point, I was like, I don't really know what I can do right now for you. Give me time. And they all can attest to it. I said, give me time, and we'll figure it out. And we came to the idea, Chef Amber, we're like, we got to do a show. Yeah. She's a national award winning on a national TV show. Give it up right now. Come on, give it up. All right. And every Saturday she would see me at the farmer's market, but Aaron, we're going to do the show. And I said, it's the right time. When's the right time? Chef Keyia and I go way back. We were actually, one of my first shows was doing it on an iPhone at Mount Vernon Marketplace. So that's how far we've come. Look around right now. To tell people it's a lot of hard work. And Chef Cat is a rock star. Everybody's like, you got to work with Chef Cat. You got to work with Chef Cat. We use the same person for our grants. I didn't realize that, but we met several times. Then we were in Charlotte. All couples were in Charlotte for a food festival, and it was really cool to catch up with her. I'm like, I'm going to make something happen. Just give me some time. Give me some time. I want to do a special shout out for this night, and I told her I was going to do it to her because if you saw Instagram or see anything this week, there was a lady by the name of Jada McCrae who was on my episode. If you don't know who she is, you better know who she is after you walk out here and say hello to her. She is the co-owner of Black Swan, the co-owner of Prim and Proper, and she owns Devil. We ain't done. We ain't done. She's a COO of BTST. That's a health and mental clinic. And also, she's a big real estate tycoon also. Okay, is my mic on? Okay. So basically, her and I did an interview a couple weeks ago, and she doesn't know this part of the story. She, the first one, she was sick, and we couldn't make it happen. And then the second one, it was on a Friday, and I was dead dog tired. Like, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do interviews, but I knew I had to do an interview. And we had a great time, a great conversation. And she was saying, like, Aaron, like, how can we help you patronize, like patrons? Like, can we help you out? And I'm saying, you know, I need help. I'm doing this black female chef event. That's very important to me. She was like, say less. What you're doing for Baltimore, done. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you've done, because what you've done is created something where these ladies can be shown and showcased. And I think people don't understand that. And so there's a couple quotes that I definitely wanted to say before we start, because I think it's very important. It's a Malcolm X quote. So when I was younger, my parents didn't let me read Malcolm X, but the older I got, I understood it now why. But the most disrespected person in America is a black woman. The most unprotected person in America is a black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And then from Madam C.J. Walker, don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. So I want everybody to understand how that is so important and understand those words. And that's why we're here tonight, to celebrate these ladies. Ms. Jada, thank you so much for all you've done. And it was like you said, say less. And that's what it's about. So that leads me into the shows going forward. We want to patronize now. We've all drank for fun. We all partied. We all drink Lobos. We had a good time. But let's really, it's time to really like patronize. Like, hey, you go see Beyonce and she don't even know who you are. But I'm just saying, she doesn't know who you are. But let's get the show started. Sorry, but I just wanted to get that housekeeping out the way. Shout out to Sagamore Spirit for the beer, for the whiskey. Shout out to Union for the beers and whatnot. And again, thank you so much to the ROOST. Thank you for Mag and Baltimore, Peninsula for everything. So let's talk. I'm done with all that. It's your show. I never talk, but I wanted to get that out the way because I thought that was very important, because I want to know people why you're here. This wasn't going to happen 2 months ago. Just know that. And this lady took care and made it happen for us, so thank you. So let's, one more time, yes. And a shameless plug, Permanent Proper is dope. Okay. So let's talk about you ladies. Tell everybody a little bit of background about each one of you two. Three, go ahead. Go ahead, start off.
Well, hi, my name is Amber Croom. I do want to apologize if I cough. I am also under the weather too, so forgive me. It's not COVID, but my allergy is kicking my butt. But I do own a company called And for Dessert, and I'm also co-owner of a new concept called Beignets with my partner, Yasmin Haskins, back there. So I am actually originally from Birmingham, Alabama. So I'm an explant. Okay, thank you. I'm an explant here in Baltimore, and I've been here now for about 6 or 7 years, and it has definitely grown on me. I understand now why people call it Smaltimore. You know, it's not hard to hit and throw somebody that knows somebody, especially in our industry, in the culinary world. I've been, honored to work alongside Chef Cat in the capacity of our field, and it's been amazing, the collaborations that have happened being in this city. I actually didn't start off in culinary. I started off in engineering, so I took a nice little pivot. Definitely did not see that coming, but I want to say that it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, that I wasn't even really ready for. And I think everything I dreamed about, it wasn't even really big enough to what has happened since I've been in this industry. So that's just a little bit about me right now.
Give it up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Catina Smith, Baltimore native. I am the co-owner of Our Time Kitchen with my partner, Keyia. It's a commissary kitchen in Old Goucher, 117 West 24th Street. We house right now about 26 small businesses. We opened it because we saw the need for it, an affordable kitchen for small businesses just getting started. So we're kind of for the little guy just getting started. Commissary kitchens in Baltimore can be very expensive, so we wanted to make sure that there was no financial wall for people to come in and get their businesses started. I'm also the founder of Just Call Me Chef, which is an organization highlighting Black women chefs, and that's how me and Amber kind of start working together and folding in, working with you. And she even gave me, my organization, a sponsorship for $1,800. So like,
That's what we're talking about.
we're
That's
all
what we're talking
connected.
about.
So that's extremely powerful. Yeah, I'm a mom of 3, Air Force veteran, and I love Baltimore.
Hi, everyone. My name is Keyia Yalcin. I am the owner of Fishnet Restaurant. Fishnet's been around for about 12 years, so we've been in Baltimore for about 5. Any of you know, I heard, oh, wow, like restaurant business is tough. But, you know, I love it. You know, just kind of started out behind the scenes. My husband was a chef. And then one day he was like, I'm done cooking. And I'm like, we got 3 restaurants. So, so just kind of, you know, retooled the business, downsized, came to Baltimore, found my sea legs, no pun intended. And now we're building our new restaurant on 400 West 29th Street, right across the street from Black Sauce. So right in Remington. Yeah. So we're looking forward to debut our brand new restaurant in the summer and a food truck in the spring.
What did you guys make tonight? Tell them what you guys made. Go ahead.
I made a crab cake crostini with a little bit of Old Bay mayo and Old Bay crostini. I mean, I just love Old Bay and crabs. It's like, what else am I going to do, right?
I made a polenta cake with caramelized onion, braised short rib, and pickled red onion.
I made what I call Southern Comfort. It is a brown butter pecan carrot cake, cupcake with a praline sauce.
Yeah,
One time for the cupcake.
we're not
Let's
playing
go.
we're not playing games at all. I told you we're coming correct tonight. We're coming correct tonight. And I fell in love with those down in South. Was it Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Yeah, we had in Charlotte, and I was like, you gotta bring this to the show. I don't care. I need that. I gained some pounds on that. I don't care. That's good.
That's what it's for.
Forget blood pressure.
That's what it's for.
So the audience probably maybe new or familiar with you guys, not familiar with you guys. You ladies are doing amazing work. And one of the things that I've always done with the podcast is every guest I've had has been African Americans. The reason why, because I wanted to highlight what we're doing in the community. So many times I always go to, I'll be transparent. I went to private schools my whole entire life. Private schools from K to 12 and to college. And it was always somebody white tell me my story. And I didn't want to hear that. I want to make sure that we hear our story. And that's why I curate it the way I curate it. I want the Black voice to be heard. And I think that's one of the things that I'm really proud about doing this, because I want them to be heard and I want them to tell their stories. So let's talk about a little bit about some. Okay, thank you. That was a lot. That was a lot.
Definitely.
But right now, Sonia's walking around. If you have questions, write them down, because we're not going to go take the mic around. We're not going to do that today. We're just going to, we'll ask them here. But tell us some of the trials and tribulations that you guys went through, trying to get money, trying to get things started, because I know the bank be on some different stuff out here. So tell us a little bit about some of the trials and tribulations that you ladies have gone through, that maybe the audience may not know. They can hear her story.
I guess I'll go first. Being a chef, being in the industry, it's a white male-dominated industry, so that off top is hardship, especially when you have your eye on the prize of being an executive chef. You're always going to be tested. I was executive chef at Notre Dame for a little bit, and they was trying me. I was over a lot of white young men, and I was young myself, so they were always trying me, and it kind of led to me to step back from that position and kind of just like reassess and say, is this really what I want to do? Just kind of just this daily grind, me doing like 80 hours a week in the kitchen on my feet, just tireless. And so I kind of switched directions, like, oh, maybe I could be an entrepreneur and do my own thing and be my own boss. And that in itself is difficult. So it's like, how do you get out there? How do you get consumers? It's like, my thought was, I need to be everywhere. And that's exactly what I did. I was going to everything. I was doing things for free. I was showing up for people. So even if they saw me in the crowd, like, I remember you from something. And I was like, that's really powerful just for people to be like, she shows up for folks. And so that's what I did. It was really challenging. Just like, okay, I'm going to start giving stuff for free. Like, I don't have money like that. I had 2 kids at the time. And so I just got to invest in myself and keep pushing, and that's what I did. But it was really hard. I remember even one of my executive chefs telling me, maybe you shouldn't be a chef, because I'm like, chef, I haven't seen my kids. And he's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be a chef. And I'm like, wow, any restaurant that I've worked in, I've always been the only mother. So that alone was like very challenging, already fighting the fight that I'm a woman and I'm Black. So, yeah. But I defied the odds. I'm my own boss now.
So yeah, I mean, restaurant business has been a journey for me, and I mean, what can I say? I had a restaurant in DC for years. I was probably about, 27. I had a high-end bar, and it was cool at the time. It wasn't cool when we started losing $15,000 a month, right? So, there's just lots of lessons learned. My passion not only is restaurants, but it's real estate. So while my husband was doing his, small tasting chef thing in DC, I was doing real estate development here in Baltimore. And so when I took the helm of Fishnet, as Chef Kat knows, I always say I'm not a chef, I'm a restaurateur. But when I took the helm of Fishnet, really just coming in there with a business mind, listening to the customers, engaging with the customers, and also taking my understanding of real estate, as a growth strategy. And so we purchased our building that we're building out right now. Part of our strategy is to own our own real estate. I want to be a real estate company that sells fish sandwiches, right? So, that's kind of the goal, and I'm excited about that, and excited, to put the money into my own build out instead of someone else's. So, yeah.
I think for me, it's, I'll speak to the other side of it. They've spoken to the restaurateur side of it. I'll speak to the executive chef side of it. For me, when I got into the industry, I worked for a boutique cruise line called Silver Sea. It's an international cruise ship, and I was one of 3 females in the kitchen. I was the only Black female in the kitchen, and I was not taken serious. No matter how much knowledge I had, no matter how much experience I had, they just would not listen to me. They would not... They spoke down to me quite a bit until I found my voice. Sadly, on a cruise ship, that voice involves a lot of curse words. But that's kind of what it took for them to really, really take me serious. But I also will say that really made me who I was. It made me stand firm in my beliefs. It made me stand firm in, I know what I'm doing. I know my product. I know it's great. I know, X, Y, and Z, and I can't let these people talk down to me and make me feel less than because I'm a Black woman. That has been, for me, the biggest trial is just being taken serious in our industry, in our kitchens. They see our color, they see our femininity, and they automatically think we don't know what we're talking about. But the reality is, I probably know more than you, and thank you. And you start to show them things and they look at you like, well, how you know that? Well, baby, I trained under a French chef. You don't know me. You have to kind of teach people what you know. And so I think that, one of the reasons that, me and my partner have decided to embark on our new venture is because we wanted to create that table for other young women that are not getting that chance, that are having those pay gaps and disparities. We want to be able to create that bridge for them. We wanted to stop talking about it and stop complaining about it and do something about it. So that's what we are.
I love that. You know, it's funny. Keyia and I go way back, and it's always fun because we were talking before the show. We were like, we come a long way, haven't we? Yeah. And it was interesting. She was in the Baltimore Business Journal recently, and I laughed at it because I got calls. People were like, your picture's in the Baltimore Business Journal. I'm like, for what? Like, I have no idea what it's about. And Keyia put it in there. I'm gonna tell the story how it went down.
Story.
So all of a sudden my phone started blowing up, and I'm like, what's going on? So this guy owns Acme, the president of Acme, who does all the stuff for
Like everything.
everything for them
For everyone.
But they're out of here. I used to hang out with him back in the day, and he's like, "Do you know her?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Is she good at people?" If she took a picture with me, yeah, I hope so. Next thing I know, I call her. It's like, "Hey, I know you're taking a break, but you need to make this phone. You need to make this call because this is the president of the company that wants to work with you because he saw she was opening a brand new shop in Remington." And now you can tell him, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a wonderful introduction. We have an upcycled pet treat. So we deal in whole fish, and so we're filleting that fish inside. There's a waste factor that goes into that. And so instead of throwing it away, we upcycle it into a pet treat, a 5-ingredient or less pet treat. So I'm talking to Acme, and they're like, "Oh, we know this person, that person, this person." So just kind of helping, helping each other. Like that's what we do. And I love that about, you and this city, and how there are just a bunch of creatives. And I see a lot of you out there who are creatives and out and, hustling here, who are just helping, right? Everyone is helping. And it makes a difference. You just have no idea how many eyes are on Baltimore because, New York and LA just don't have it no more.
And I can tell you, with Chef Cat, they showed off down in Charlotte at the food festival. It was a Black Chef Festival down in Charlotte, North Carolina, called the Bay Haven Food Festival, and I covered it down there. And Baltimore had the premium night. Mm-hmm. The ticket was like $150, $200 a night to go in this spot. And they showed out, and they had 5-star cuisine in there. And people walked there like, when we come to Baltimore? Talk a little bit about that, Bay Haven.
Yeah, Bay Haven is a pretty fun thing to do. There are a couple of food festivals going on, but I feel like that's like a family reunion for real. Yeah, like your cousins, that's what it feels like going down there. And so Chef Tanya and Chef Dave, they were like, yo, we need to get a group of us and go down there because Baltimore got something to say. That's what he loves to say. Baltimore got something to say. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? So we just showed off. We, of course, we brought seafood to the table, but we also flex in other ways because it's fusion. That's really what Baltimore is all about, just fusion. And so we all flex in our ways. He trusted us. And that's why I was so excited too, because I feel like I've been in the industry for 20 years, but I've been doing a lot of like community work, working with children and things like that. So I've been fighting my way to prove myself on the culinary scene. So when I got invited to James Beard and to go down with them to Charlotte, like I was like super excited, like, okay, it's finally my time to like show off in the culinary way. So I did my thing. I was like, I'm going to use one ingredient and I'm going to do everything with it. So I took carrot and I made a puree, I made a chutney, I made a chip, like I made everything all just from carrot. So we all flexed that night.
And it was good. It was very, very good. Trust me on that. Chef Amber, I don't even know where to start. I mean, you're actually heading to Charleston tomorrow for the Charleston Food and Wine Festival. Mm-hmm. I'll go to next year. We talked about that. I'm a little salty still about that, but she's going down there. But let's talk about this national show. Her partner right there, Yasmin right there. Talk a little bit about that national TV show winning national. Go ahead. I'm not going to say go ahead. Talk about it.
You got it.
So I've done a couple shows now under my belt. Food Network Holiday Baking Championship. Beat Bobby Flay. Not salty about that one at all. Chop Sweets, where I did take home the championship on that one. And then most recently, Yaz and I competed on Fox's Crime Scene Kitchen, and we won that one. So
Give it up. Come on.
you know, like Kat says, Baltimore got something to say, you know. I think it definitely highlighted the city. I think Baltimore, the food scene doesn't get enough shine. And I think that we definitely did that. It had a lot of people looking at us. But I get a lot of questions about the show. And one of them is, well, how did you feel like you were ready to do that? I didn't feel like I was ready to do it. I just did it anyway. You know, like every show I always have PTSD and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. And then a year later I forget and we do it again, you know, because why not? Because, when growing up, I wanted to see people that look like me on TV. You know, my mom stayed on the Food Network. She stayed on Create TV. Excuse me. And you just didn't see a lot of us. And so I felt that it was necessary, no matter how afraid and scared I was, to do that. And we've had so many young girls that would just come up to us and, you know, want pictures and be like, oh my God, you guys are real. Like, you're real. Like, you know, and you did it and we were rooting for you and we were crying and you guys won and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, things like that, you know, make it worthwhile and people not knowing that I make cakes, I make desserts. I can do that for a living. Yeah, you can. It's there. You know, there are so many different avenues and, you know, being able to do those shows is not something I ever dreamed of for myself. And it was just a beautiful, crazy, crazy ride. And I would do it 100 times over again.
Yes, give it up. Let's talk about you. You got something going on because you were posting on social media. I know you can't talk about what network it is on. I know you can't talk about that. It's coming out this summer, though. Tell us a little bit background about it.
Yeah, so right now I call this period my sabbatical period where, you know, we're waiting for the restaurant to be built out. We closed our original restaurant in October, so I'm just hanging out. But I got a call, and the network was like, hey, do you have 6 weeks to come film a show? I was like, well, as a matter of fact, I do. So flew down to Texas and did this epic food truck tour around the Gulf. And we were in Houston and Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama. And so really just had an awesome, epic experience. I can't say the name of the show yet, but it will air in the summer. And we represented Baltimore very well. Hey. So.
I love it. Now, Chef Kat, you are the busiest person I know. Like, seriously, tell me what you got going on, because you just did night brunch here a couple nights ago. You're doing night brunch again for Cinco de Mayo.
I am?
I saw you post. I didn't know if you were doing it. I saw you reposted. Maybe not.
I was just sharing.
Okay, you were sharing. Sorry. So go ahead. Tell them what you got going on.
Well, I'm a working chef and people can hire me if you need a private chef. You need anything catered, you can hit me up. So my line has been ringing a lot lately. So I got an event for 100 tomorrow. It is a lot going on, but I've been teaching. What I'm most proud of right now is I've been doing a cooking series for boys on Mondays at my kitchen. So that's been incredible. That's been really fun. My partner and I, we also bought our building, and we ran out of money, so we were only able to do the first floor. It's a 3-story building. So right now we're in the middle of trying to create a nonprofit, because that's where all the grant money is, and just fussing around with our bank trying to get the top 2 floors built up. So we're gonna grow the kitchen to the 2nd floor, and then the 3rd floor will be rentable office spaces. But I'm just working. I'm being a mom, and I'm just cooking. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. So it's a lot.
I'm thankful for you guys having time to do this, because when I reached out, I was like, I'm ready. And y'all were like, let's do it. And I'm thankful because I really want this audience to hear you guys' stories, because I feel like the story's never told. And you can tell, and then we'll do a question and answer session in a couple minutes. But what do you want people to know about, like, where can they find you guys? Like, you know, they're gonna go like, I'm gonna Google, I'm gonna look at IG. How can they hire you? How can they find you? How can we support you, more importantly?
How you can support me is, like Rihanna said, pull up. Tell your friends to pull up. Come through. People are always wondering how do I like engage with your building. So we have 2 pop-ups that are consistently going on there. We have Southern Butter by Chef T that's happening in the window Wednesday through Saturday. And then we have coming up on the food truck, it's a Puerto Rican concept called Lotte. It's like Chipotle but Puerto Rican. So you can come by, get food from them. Both of them are on like DoorDash and Grubhub, so you can order delivery if you want to, but you can also come by for pickup. Our backyard space is really cool. It's for rent, so if you want to have an outdoor event, you can rent from us. We're going to be having parties, movie nights. Last year we had a thing called Bring Your Own Baby Pool. People brought their own inflatable baby pools, and we were just out there in our pools just like drinking and having a good time. So that was fun. I want to have like a crab fest, all kind of things. So like, if you want to have an outdoor event, please hit us up for that. Always looking for people to help us with grant writing and funding. So you can find me at Naturally Chef Cat, chef-cat.com, and Our Time Kitchen on all platforms, ourtimekitchen.com.
So I have 2 companies. One is And for Dessert. That is your own private pastry chef. So if you need things for like events, corporate pastry boxes, we create custom chocolate boxes, as well as doing different like weddings, birthdays, and things like that. Whatever you need, whatever your dietary restrictions is, whether you're keto, celiac, gluten-free, whatever you need, we create just for you. And so you can find us at the farmers market, JFX every Sunday starting next month. And then my other company, Beignets, where we do coffee, beignets, and teas like you have never had before. Yes. It is amazing. And that's our company that will also be at the farmers market as well. But if you want to book us for like your apartment complexes, for your businesses, if you want to gift to your clients, we go wherever it's needed, around the DMV. And you can find me at andfordessert.com, AND 4dessert.com. And then Beignets is BEYE, beignets.com. Oh, and we'll be at 32nd Street starting this summer too. So you can find us everywhere. And then First Thursdays down in Canton, hopefully Artscape and Afram. What'd you say? Oh, yes. Actually, in 2 weeks, we're all about the collaboration. So we'll be collaborating with Colado Shop in DC, March 23rd and 24th, doing Cuban-inspired beignets and coffees with them. So we're looking forward to that. We're trying to bring a little bit of New Orleans and Baltimore together to the city.
I'm hungry right now.
Oh, you should be. You should be.
That's why I stopped going to the farmers market on Saturday.
I know.
Because it was like too much. It was you.
He would walk by me and be like, I can't. Yeah. And I'd be like, come on.
I mean, if anybody knows me, they know I go to the 32nd Farmers Market. No shade to JFX, but the real food's at 32nd Street uptown. You know what it is, okay? So go ahead.
Y'all are busy. You can find me reading a book. That's what y'all taking a nap. In the spring, we'll have our food truck, and in the summer, the restaurant will be open. So you can follow us at Eat Fishnet on Instagram. We just kind of document our journey. There's all sorts of construction projects and plans for those of you who are into that, the media stuff that we do, and just my thoughts on silence and stillness.
I love that. I love that for me.
Need that piece. I like that.
Sometimes you got to find it.
What do you want people who are watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple, to learn about, just to recap about who you guys are and like going forward, like where you want people to, like you said, pull up. But what else? What do you want them to know walking away from this conversation?
I think, being in the restaurant business for 12 years, what I want people to know is that this is a long game. This is a long game. This is, if this was just about food, we probably would have stopped a long time ago, right? That this is about so much more than food. This is about being an example. This is about mentorship. This is about so many things. And so just know that every time you patronize one of us, you patronize a small business, you're you're building a cycle of sustainability in your community, right? And so that's why this is so important, where and how you spend your money, right? Because we're building community, and the only way that we're going to do that is together. I've been on Walden Pond, y'all, so you know. Walden Pond.
With her, speaking of community, I think one of the things that I want people to kind of take away from this, if you're trying to get into this industry, if you're trying to, start a business, build a network. I think that a lot of our success and a lot of what we're even trying to do now is because of the people that we know and the relationships that we've actually built. And don't be afraid to call on them. You're not going to know everything. You won't know everything about what it takes to start a business and a HACCP plan and, all the permits and things you're going to need and all the red tape. And, it's good to know people in the industry that can help you out and tell you everything you need to know, even as far as profit and loss statements. You need an accountant, you need this, you need that. Like, people have those people in their pockets. They know people. So don't be afraid to speak up and ask for the help. And I think that's one of the best parts of, the bonds that I've formed since being in this city is a lot of the opportunities have just come from people knowing my name, speaking my name in rooms that I'm not even in. Being open to those relationships is very important. And that's hard for somebody that's an introvert like me. And I'm still working on that. But it's been pivotal in my success and definitely where we're going now.
Yeah. I agree with all that. Networking is truly important. That's why I created the organization Just Call Me Chef, because I felt like I was out there floating alone, and I'm like, where my sisters at? And so I created that, and people have formed relationships that have gone past the organization where they're like truly locked in, starting businesses, doing dinner parties and things together. So I'm like, I see the people that are in the organization and the things that they're doing and how they're connected with one another. And I love that because I know they met because of the organization. So that's true. Just meeting people, connecting, and being intentional about everything that you do. Community is truly important to me, and that's why people are like, Kat, why you didn't start a restaurant? I'm like, that's not meant for me. Like, this commissary kitchen was meant for me because I need to help these small businesses that are having this financial hardship, and so this affordable thing that I can do that I know they needed, that I needed as an entrepreneur. So,
and I do want to actually give Chef Kat her flowers, because it was because of Just Call Me Chef that I even met my partner. Yaz was looking for another pastry chef, and I was literally the only one there. And we have done some amazing things since then. But I want to thank you for heeding that call to create that, because I want to say just about every female chef that I have been privy to have a relationship with was because of Just Call Me Chef. So I want to thank you so much for that.
I don't know. I'm like a fan right now, sitting here. But no, I want to thank all you ladies for doing this for me. I told you guys we were going to make this happen. We made it happen. And I'm very proud, excited for this episode to drop to the public. But I thank you for your time, because I always tell people you can't get time back. And again, we're very intentional how we do things. And I was like, Women's History Month, I'm doing 3 Black women chefs, period. And literally every name came out the book. This chef, I'm like, no, I'm good. I already know who I want, because I've been talking to him for the longest time. We've been talking. And again, there's a lot of great chefs in the city, but I wanted to highlight these ladies because they're doing amazing things. Thank you, ladies, for this wonderful night. Thank you guys for coming out. Love, peace, we're out.